Your lack of tracking is absolutely killing your partnerships and your sales. So I'm going to go into that today. I tell you what, so excited for next week. We've got an amazing guest on for you all. It's going to be me today. Hope you got a ton out of the last one with Mitch Florence. Mitch is a really good lender, great guy. Actually met him, I don't know, about a year and a half ago or so, 2 years ago, a couple years ago. And I actually saw him this past Thursday in Lexington. So it's always good to network with high-level loan officers around the country. If you're in your backyard, try to get around some amazing folks, some other loan officers. If you have the abundance mindset, right? If you have the abundance mindset that, they're not going to take my business, I can't take theirs, that we're going to get the business we're going to get. We have to serve at a higher level, but you can get a lot of good tips off of people, some real camaraderie, some great things to talk about, and make sure that you're getting around people that are not talking about rates being horrible and inventory being low, but you're talking about growth stuff. You're talking about ways that you can, just grow in any market. How can you sell differently? How can you market differently? How can you put people in place, be a leader? All those things that can be done that are in your control. Hang around people talking about that in your marketplace, because that's going to help you really grow. And it's distance yourself away from the people who are talking about all the garbage that doesn't really mean anything. If you're watching rates all day, you're losing out. I mean, you're just losing out. I mean, how much negativity is that? Oh, wow, it moved an eighth of a point. Okay, today, whatever, who cares? Just keep moving, keep serving. Everybody is the rates are going to move up on everybody. The inventory is going to be low for everybody. It's going to be determined on how much market share you can take. How can you show up differently? How can you have better conversations? How can you get in front of more people, better people, et cetera, et cetera. And that is going to control your business. But you can let the business control you. You can either control it or it can control you. And you can just wait for the next time the rates go lower and dip down. You can all of a sudden do refinances again. You can wait until the next time the inventory just opens up and there's more homes. You can just wait for that point. But it may be a couple of years. You may be out of business. You may have to get rid of things. This is not a time to start retracting. This is a time to really dig in. Who do I need to add on my team? What other marketing modality do I need to have? Do I need to dig deeper in my marketing modality? Do I need to dig deeper in my sales, make a few more calls, make them a few more appointments, have better conversations, more growth-minded conversations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's so many things that you can do in this market and control it. It's really, if you're doing 5 loans, you're doing 10 loans a month, for example, you can go from 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 10 to 20. And honestly, it's not as difficult as what you think if you know what to do, if you constantly have marketing and sales going on. Genius Loan Officer, we definitely have the sales unclosing that we teach that is far different than anybody else is teaching. It works with human psychology instead against it, which is what you're probably using now. It's just begging, pleading, trying to hardcore close, all these things that are going on. And I've been in the other other mortgage coaching, and that's what it is, right? The 2-step close, and oh man, assume this sale and all that stuff, garbage, and it's not working through human psychology. We have the unclosed method working with human psychology, and then our money magnet marketing system, which is far different than anything else that you're having. It's not the same old lame, hey, what's rates, and hey, here's what's going on in the market. Nobody gives a crap about. Remember, your number one currency is focus, and you got to create focus out of that. What's the problem that people are having? How can you solve it? How can you be different? And how can you go to these partnerships and start showing up differently? Can you put on amazing classes. I'm putting on an event myself. I really beta test a lot of stuff and watch blink rates, watch body reactions, watch how the excitement, and then accordingly, I will change that up for the next one. And really, more importantly, for you, there's done for yous in there. I got this completely amazing 3-step objection to money formula that is far different than anything you've ever experienced or heard of how to overcome objections. We can present this to real estate agents, and then you have the material even deeper level than what they have, because we have all these other things that we're talking about that goes way deeper than even the presentation. So you're the expert, and more importantly as well, you can overcome objections at a rapid clip, quickly, easily, and joyfully. Just take these opportunities. And think about this as well. Onto objections, how much is that costing you in money? Not just in the sale, not just in the calls you're making, in the calls you're not making, right? You're not making those calls because you're scared of the objections. You've got an objection before. Oh yeah, gosh, I don't want to call. I'm going to get an objection. They're going to have a lender. All these things. 3-step formula is completely different than anything you ever heard. And the third thing we have in the really big time in our program is our G6 program, which is our business system, being able to work 6 hours a day, operating in your zone of genius, going from a loan officer to a loan executive officer. If you're working 50 hours, 60 hours a week, and it feels like, oh my gosh, like Adam, I'm adding 5 or 10 loans, that's overwhelming. I have to work all these hours. Not if you design your business around that. We have business in a box where we have your appointments are coming in with referral partners because we have all this set up, a lot of this set up for you, but you are required to do some work, which is real change work in your mind to make real decisions in a business type of mindset rather than just a loan officer. You are required to show up in appointments that are getting set for you and have good conversations, go through the material and sell differently. But if you want to do that in a different way, and it's not just the same old lame-o stuff of call a realtor and, say you work or play last weekend, if you want a different way of doing things, then head over to geniusloanofficer.com. Okay, for your tracking, geniusloanofficer.com, that's where you go. Sign up for a call. We will say whether you are a fit for the program, and we only allow people that are really truly fit for the program. The ones that do, our best clients, are absolutely growing and doubling and tripling and reducing their hours at the same time. And their wives are even calling us or messages and say they're different. What are you doing to them? They're freaking amazing. They're a different human being. They're more loving, they're more kind, they're more, gosh, if all we do is just help people on the loan side and get more loans, we failed. As another member said, I just feel like a better human for being in this, being a Genius Loan Officer. Okay, so for your tracking, this is one of those things where it's kind of, oh man, boring. And sometimes I almost hate talking about it too, because it's like, this is stuff that anybody can kind of talk about on the tracking, but stay with me here because let's just go a couple layers in here. That way, maybe there's some hidden gaps that are happening in your business right now that is costing you some sales. So here's the deal. If you don't know exactly how many referrals you got that month, you're missing out. All the time we go, okay, well, what about the inventory? The inventory is low. Or man, I have all these pre-approved buyers. And then when you look at it, it's like, do you really have that many pre-approved buyers? Not as many as maybe you need. And how many, and what is your closing percentage right now? Like you're closing, and most times I'll talk to people, they think it's way higher than it actually is. And it's not that high. So there's hidden gaps because they think they're closing at, say, a 60%, and really it would be more like a 25% because they're not writing all the referrals. You should be writing every referral, every lead that comes over. And I'm not talking about running leads because I don't gosh, leads, that's just, I think just a bad way to go. You can target great referring partners, and that's not just real estate agents, CPAs, that's financial planners, that's that's even going to nursing home directors, divorce attorneys, et cetera, et cetera. There's all these things you can do to help grow. But if you're going to these, but whatever referrals you're getting, put them in your tracker, because you want to be able to go back to those and say, hey, I didn't get a hold of this person. So you can multiple follow through. That one of the hidden gaps is that, one of the three things that real estate agents, for example, complain about about loan officers, is that they don't follow through with their leads. And that doesn't mean they don't call them once. That just means they call them once and that's it. Or understand this, if you call Miss Johnson one time and you tell the real estate agent, hey, I called them and followed through, and they didn't answer. And even if you follow through with Miss Johnson 10 more times and you never tell the real estate agent, guess what? You follow through one time. That's in her mind. So when someone comes along and we coach our great genius loan officers to throw hooks in there in a way that brings out what's going on in someone's business and the leads and how it's been follow through with a loan officer, is that is a point where they can get in, because when the questions are asked, they don't know how many times the lead was followed through with. So they think, okay, well, I may be losing some sales because there's no follow through, not the proper follow through. Therefore, someone comes along and swoops your real estate agent from you because they don't think you're following through. So when we're putting our lead tracker and all that stuff together, how that system is, we need to know where the source comes from, what's the update, when the contact was trying to be made, and obviously all the contact information, et cetera. Because when we follow through, we need to be, every time that we're talking to the client, we need to be talking to the agent. Doesn't mean you have to call them every single time, but hey, here's a text. Obviously look for reasons to call. And this is the whole thing with a tracker as well. It's like, everybody all the time is like, man, I don't know what to say, or man, I want to just keep following through with this real estate agent. A lot of you have opportunities because you've had, if someone referred to you, and then how many opportunities you taking to actually follow through, and then follow through with the agent themselves and have a deeper conversation. Hey, here's what happened on this. Who else do you have? Like, who else do I need to follow through with? I'm going to continue following through with Miss Johnson. This is the follow through system. This is my 14 touch point follow through system. I want to continue on that. Who else do you have that I can put in the 14 touch point system? That way I can make sure that we are having great success together. We can have those conversations, but only if we know it's tracking and who that's coming from, and then how many times. And so the thing is, somebody even calls, say, hey, have you talked to Miss Johnson or whatever? Yeah, I texted the other day. Here's where we're at. We've talked. There's call, text, email, call, text, email, call, text, email, call, text, email. These 5 times. I haven't got a hold of them yet. I'll continue to do that. Who else do you have? So we can have those conversations. We know where they are. The big thing is too, is like really understand where the bleeds are happening in the lead tracker. Knowing if someone is sending you a lot of deals, but they're not closing. Somebody may send you, oh man, I tell you what, Mary, the real estate agent, is awesome. She's sending us a lot of stuff. Then you go through there and over the last 3 months, she sent 20 clients, but only one of them is converted. Maybe a whole bunch are low credit scores. What's the opportunity here? It's an opportunity to have a conversation. The conversation can be, hey, where's your referral sources coming from? How can we work together to have more qualified clients? And a lot of times what you'll find is that some agents are not referring you the higher quality ones, right? As you start a relationship. So that's a good conversation to have. Hey, listen, like I noticed we have a lot of lower credit scores here, a lot of misses here. I appreciate the referrals as always, and thank you so much. This is great. Congratulations, all the success and you've been having to get in front of clients. And I would love us to collaborate here and see how we can maybe get some more qualified clients. May I ask you, what's your referral? What's your referral plan when a qualified client comes over? Then they maybe still say, you know what, I put you on the one of three. Okay, now let's talk that through. Now, a lot of loan officers, that's kind of an aggravating thing. It's like, I don't think there's actually a real written thing that has to be done, but it's been said over and over. People, there's debate about that. I can tell you, if I'm a real estate agent, I'm not referring three loan officers. Tomorrow I became a real estate agent, I would not be referring three. I would be referring the one and having a true partnership. And I would be having a streamlined process, knowing how that's supposed to go. I would always give the opportunity to that loan officer to get that client, have the conversation, et cetera, because that is going to be a winning strategy. I think it's so passive in the fact that, like, okay, well, three, and I don't want to be blamed for something. To me, that's just, I think that's just not really controlling your business. I can say, okay, well, it didn't work with John. Well, guess what? Then I have Joey over here that also may be a good resource for you, and see if he can do something. That's fine. But having one, because I want true partnerships. So that's a whole tangent on another thing, but you can, that does help you to have a conversation. It is like what a true partnership is, and not as like, hey, just send me things. It's like, I'm not sure if you're aware, probably my fault for never explaining what, our best partnerships do for agents that are referring us. And so let's talk that through and see if we can collaborate in a way that can get us, more mutual clients, and be able to help you have a winning strategy to get referable people, because we have our referral magnet system that is able to generate more referrals off the referrals you gave. And guess what? They're going right back to you. And I would love to talk to you about that. Let's have a conversation. So see, there's so many conversations that can web off of this, right? But we have to know where it's coming from, where the bleeds are, where the ones are really doing good, and look for an opportunity. Like, man, I tell you what, Matt, you are amazing. I tell you, you've sent over in the last 3 months. This is amazing. You have sent over 7 clients, and 5 of them will close. Where in the world can I ask you, like, what your process is for getting these referrals? Where are you getting them from? How are you able to close? How able to have the best referrals that anyone could ask for? I would love to duplicate that and see if there's a way that I can supercharge that, and we can, instead of 5 deals in the next 3 months, how can we do 8 or 10 deals together? And maybe I can help facilitate that in some way or another. So let's collaborate and have a conversation about that. But congratulations, man. And gosh, you are such an amazing partner to be in line with. So we can have this deeper level conversation, and how can we help them grow and collaborate? So we're looking for those opportunities. I was talking to and this is where a list comes in so vital too, is I was talking to one of our Genius loan officers, and he got the list, and he was reviewing it. He said, oh man, this one agent did 26 buyer sides in the last 12 months. It's freaking amazing. He said, I got 6. Now, key point here, he could have said, like, you may say, oh my gosh, and if this comes up, this is where we need to uproot this, boom, pull this out. He said, he didn't say cheating on me, which is, if that's what's going through your mind, that went through your mind, let's uproot that, right? Understand, that is negative and that is keeping you from doing more, especially even with that agent. Understand that? Good. So uprooted. What I love that he said is, oh, wow, there's a lot more opportunity here. And I wonder what are some things I can do to go from getting 6 referrals to maybe 13 referrals out of the same agent. So sometimes we think, well, we got to call all these more agents, and that may be a thing. We could always prospect for new agents and new partnerships, and always and forever. And again, if you're walking over these buckets and saying, oh, I don't need that. I don't need realtors. Why would you walk over them? Just get the right ones, right? Get the ones you really enjoy working with. They're out there, get connections, etc. But you have these agents that you're already working with, and you enjoy working with, and you see, and like, man, okay, there's more opportunity here. That's amazing. Now I know I got the list. I've got, and I counted on my tracker. Okay, we closed 6 deals last year, so I know that information. I can't remember. Do we close? Well, I think we closed a lot, because sometimes it's 6 in our mind becomes a 10 or 12, and you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty good. I'm getting about half of them. I'm good. When we don't track it, then we don't know. Hey, we got 6, which is great. Any partnership giving us 6, that's a lot of money for all of us, right? Depending on the average commission, saying being $3,000, it's $18,000 off of one relationship. That's freaking amazing. If you can have, right, you know, 20 of those relationships, guess what? You're making $360,000, depending on your area and your commission, all that stuff. But get the point. That's great. However, would it be awesome to get half of them get 13, and now you're making 39,000 instead of 18? What's that? Excuse me. 39 instead of 18. So you're over doubling your income on one business partnership without prospecting for more. So knowing those and going, hey, now what's the opportunity? Not deflating, going, oh my gosh, she's cheating on me. I cannot believe that. Like, why did I get 15 of them? Why didn't I get all 26 of them? Depending on, we know 26 of them, some of them already came pre-approved. And of course, sometimes we also, by the way, never want to just stop there just because they say, oh, well, you know, they came pre-approved. Give them a reason to have a conversation to get them to switch to you, right? Like, this is a great opportunity. Don't just stop there in a conversation. Oh, well, hey, yeah, I'd refer you Johnny, but they're already going through slowing loans. But we all know who that is. But anyway, or the military AA that really just spends a lot of money on advertising and really doesn't care that much about is no different than just a big bank. But they're going through them. Great. Hey, we have this special program that does this, or we've been able to save people from doing this. Hey, we've been able to do this. Like, look for things that really resonate with the agent to be able to sell you, to get them over to you. I don't know what that is for an agent. That's why you have conversations, right? Don't always go towards rate. Our rate's going to beat it, right? If you got really good rates and you want to steal some sometimes, and you have a really good relationship with an agent and can go up under people a lot of times, it's not necessarily a bad thing to do it once in a while if you know the relationship. You're not a bargain shopper, lowest rate wins all the time. That is for sure. So you want to be very careful with this, because some agents may be trying to sell that as the lowest all the time. That's why you have deeper conversations. Why do you refer me? But for a select one, it can be, for example, that to try to steal a couple more deals, right? To steal a couple more deals from people. So just depending on what is resonating with someone, we can kind of have them have a reason why to have a deeper conversation and say, hey, Johnny, I know you're going through slowing loans, but you may want to give my boy John a call, because he's really having a great success with veterans on this, or being able to close in a really timely manner, or whatever that is to the agent, so they can have something that will pinpoint why, the reason why, not just, hey, call my lender. I don't think you should go to Slow and Loans. And it's one thing to say Slow and Loans is just not really good and they're an online lender and we don't know anybody there. That definitely is one, but you want them to have a really strong reason maybe to say why they would choose you specifically as a lender, especially in those circumstances. And this is a great opportunity, because sometimes the agent, when they don't have somebody already, somebody doesn't have any, they have a client that doesn't have anybody in mind already, that they'll just say something simply like, hey, call them, they're the best lender. That's it, and that's good enough. But when it comes to stealing from stealing that deal, then you want to arm them with some specific reasons why they can go, hey, don't go to Slow and Loans because they're horrible. But more of the reason is not just that they're not good. More of the reason is this specifically, they are really they are great with VA mortgages, and they do this or whatever. It's just an example. So in our tracker, make sure you're tracking, exactly what you're on target for, how many referrals you're on target for that month, how that, what your closing percentage is. So, okay, hey, if I want to do 10 loans in a month and I'm closing at 25%, I need 40 referrals that month, and where I'm getting my referrals from. And then look at like how many pre-approvals will come out of that. Am I getting at least 50%, for example, that are pre-approved out of the 40? So I get 20. So then, maybe right now, again, it could be 10 of those out of the 20 are not going under contract forever, because of low inventory. Good. Well, I mean, not good, but you have that, right? You have that window, and you're still fine because you're hitting your targets, therefore hitting your main target of how many deals you want to close. Without knowing those, you get a lot of emotion involved. So take the emotion out. That's the numbers you got to hit. Then also look within the detail, where the referrals coming from, what's the closing, what's the pre-approval percentage for each agent or each referral partner of a CPA or what have you, and look at those. You may find yourself seeing your CPAs, a couple CPAs are closing at a 60% clip, and which is like, oh my gosh, I'm closing 60%, and over here in this category, and my real estate agents is closing at 20%. Okay, where's the bleed at? Who's the specific bleeds with the agents that I need to have a conversation with? Doesn't mean they're bad people. It could mean they're just trying to test you at first and send you stuff, but don't let that happen long. You need to have a conversation of where they're sending good clients, and they're not just sending you bunk stuff and they're sending their good stuff to another lender. You are a value. Don't let the bleeds just happen without having a conversation. So that's pretty much all I got today. I hope you find it very helpful. You go back and, if your action plan today is, if you don't have the leads, go back, you don't have the referral tracker or anything, go back, look at it. Then if you do have it, go ahead and audit your business over the last 3 months, see what those percentages are on each category, and specifically some agents you can target out, have a great conversation with, like, oh my gosh, you're so great. How can we do more? And hey, we're struggling here. How can I help us win together? And am I getting the best referrals as well? And what can I do to earn that? That is what I got. Go out there and absolutely crush it. Go to geniusloanofficer.com. Gosh, there's so much stuff done for you, ready. It's business in a box, ready to go. I tell you, if you are ready to invest in yourself in such a different way and have different conversations you ever had, market in a different way, and run your business in such a way that your wife or husband is saying, my gosh, you're changed in such a enormously great way. Kids are seeing you more. You're going to be able to plan those vacations and able to just shut the phone off while running a baller business. Then go to geniusloanofficer.com and we'll see you there. You know the drill. Limit to risk equals limit to income.